This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Monday, June 19th, 2006, and this is episode number 115 for Walt Disney World Today. I'm Matt Hochberg from mgmstudios.org. On today's show is Mike Newell of MouseWorldRadio.com. Welcome, Mike.
Hi, guys. How are you tonight?
And the man who is marketing himself to the world one shirt at a time is here, Mike Scopa of MousePlanet.com. Welcome, Mike.
If the experience of these extraordinary men adds up to any one thing, it is this: to be true to the American dream, one must have the wisdom to remember and the courage to change.
And the man perpetuating all of the Scopa love that's going around is Len Testa, co-author of The Unofficial Guide to Walt Disney World. Welcome, Len.
How's it going, Matt?
Outstanding. And our guest on today's show is Mark Goldhaber of MousePlanet.com. Welcome back, Mark.
Hey, how's it going?
Great. And
I set you up for an outstanding, and you didn't take it.
I'm allocated one outstanding per show.
Oh, okay.
trying to cut back a little bit. Just a reminder that on Sunday, June 25th, 2006, we'll be doing our third live show. It'll be at 8 o'clock Eastern on Sunday, the June 25th. And you'll be able to call in with your live questions. We've had 2 great live shows so far, and we're looking forward to a equally great third show. And so again, that's Sunday, June 25th at 8 o'clock p.m. We'll be looking forward to seeing you. That'll, of course, be on Mouse World Radio. All the details for the live show can be found at our website at wdwtoday.com. On today's show, we're talking with Mark. First, we're going to talk a little bit about what Mark has on tap for his column that'll be appearing on Monday, at mouseplanet.com. And after that, we're going to be talking about some of the new attractions that have been announced as part of the Year of a Million Dreams celebration. But let's go back to Mark's column, which appears every Monday at mouseplanet.com. Mark, what's the big story this week?
Well, the lead story this week is the family of Dodi Bamiwamye, the 4-year-old boy that died on Mission Space last year, filed a lawsuit against Disney for wrongful death. They have 3 major claims that Disney did not give adequate warning of the hazards of riding, that they should never have allowed a 4-year-old on the ride, and that they didn't do enough to help him after the ride was over.
And so now this lawsuit is being brought about. You mentioned this before the show. Sorry, a day. Is it a date of the year of the death?
It is 1 day before the anniversary of his death. So my guess as to why they picked last Monday to file the lawsuit is there was probably some sort of statute of limitations, and that they needed to file the suit on the 12th, or they were never going to be able to file the suit because the statute would have expired. So it may just be that the suit was filed in order to keep it out there, and they could continue whatever they or may not be having with Disney on this.
Here's my thinking about it. I want to take the other road, and I'm going to say that this is the father, right, Mark?
I don't know whether it was just the father or the entire family. I don't have a copy of the suit.
Okay, let's assume it's regardless, the family has lost a child, and that's a traumatic experience. And one has to think, and one has to hope that Disney, I would think, some sort of compensation package. The family didn't feel that it was worth it, and again, how can you really put a price on your son's life here? I guess really just the question is the suit frivolous, or does it have a basis?
Well, that's kind of a tough call. I mean, one of the things that they were saying was that the height restrictions were not tall enough. That the minimum height should have been 48 inches and not 44 inches. Now, Dodi's height was 46 inches when he wrote it. Except the thing is that Disney sets their height restrictions based on the minimum height that the ride's restraints can safely hold. So the minimum height that that Mission Space's restraints could hold would be a 44-inch tall person. Now, I don't know what the average height of a 4-year-old is. My son's extremely small for his height, so he wasn't 44 inches until he was about 6 years old. But what Disney says is basically that the height restriction is based on the restraint system. It's not based on the child's age, and it's up to the parents to decide what's safe for their child to ride. There are hundreds of 4-year-olds that have ridden Mission Space that have had no problem whatsoever. There are a lot of older people that have had problems. So really, Disney is just saying, okay, you've got to be 44 inches to fit the restraints, and it's up to you to decide whether you can ride this ride or not. Another contention that they had was that the warnings were not sufficient. Now, the warnings on the attraction have the standard, should be in good health and free from high blood pressure, heart, back, or neck problems, motion sickness, and other conditions that can be aggravated by the ride. And then they also had 5 or 6 or 7 points throughout the queue and the waiting area to get onto the attraction where they warn you again, that this is a ride that puts a great deal of stress on your body. And if I recall correctly, it's been a while since I've been on it, they even have a graphic showing the centrifuge spinning before you get on.
They do.
So
I'm
not
they
sure.
could have been more explicit there and just shown people staggering out of it.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is that they're actually looking for in terms of additional warnings. I know that now that they've made a great effort with the green team and orange team slips of paper to make sure that there are warnings in different languages now, which there may not have been sufficient previously. But how much more warnings were they looking for?
Let's move on quickly. While we've got Mark here, he's going to explain some of the new attractions that are coming with the Year of a Million Dreams. Most of these have kind of been known, but Disney decided to announce them officially during the Year of a Million Dreams announcement about a week or two ago that Mike Scopo was at. And Mark is going to talk to us about the 3 attractions that are coming to Walt Disney World. And let's start off, Mark, with the Seas with Nemo's and Friends that will be opening in late 2006.
Okay, well, everybody probably has, I don't know if everybody's seen pictures of it or have been down there to see it, but the front entrance of the Living Seas has been boarded up for quite some time, and they are doing a major refurbishment of the front half of the attraction. They are taking out one of the pre-show theaters. The hydrolators are gone. They're taking the old sea They're taking.
How are they going to get down to Sea Base Alpha now?
Exactly.
It's a staircase.
There might be an escalator. I think.
It's not Sea Base Alpha anymore. It's just Sea Base.
Whatever. There's just no way to get to Sea Base. There's just no way. Only hydrolators are the only way you could have gone down there.
Well, they are
to the magic of science.
They're taking the old Sea Cabs attraction, and I believe they've extended it about another 100 feet or so.
Yeah.
And they are using new technology to help you find Nemo. It supposedly takes place right after the movie Nemo's next day of school. He's going off to school with Mr. Ray, and he gets lost again. And so
I'm thinking the kid's got issues. He's got issues with authority.
Yeah.
I mean, he runs away from his dad. He can't follow the Mr. Ray. He's got authority issues.
Yeah, sounds fishy
so-
to me.
Well, better move on before
anyway,
this starts to flounder.
You go with Marlin and Dory. And,
It's a whale of a tale.
Go look for Nemo in the tank of the Living Seas, and Mr. Ray and a bunch of other characters are there as well. And you go through the cabs ride track, and the characters are actually going to be projected into the tank somehow. I'm not exactly sure how they're going to be doing it.
Yeah, Disney's got a couple of patents on this that
yeah.
you can take a look at the technology and see how it works.
So they're going to be doing that, and that will be the new entrance in, and that will get you to Sea Base.
Sorry, Mark. The next attraction that's coming in late 2006 as well is Finding Nemo the Musical, which is replacing the Theater of the Wild that Mike Scopa and his cronies loved so much.
Yep, Tarzan Rocks is gone. They have enclosed the Theater in the Wild. They have got new lighting and sound systems. Finding Nemo the Musical is going to have some puppets, some costume, and they're going to have 10 to 12 songs, and they previewed one of them at the Expedition Everest event. So it's the second time that they're announcing the Finding Nemo the Musical at a press event, and we've known that it was going to be a Nemo musical for I think something like a year now. It's been a while since we first ran that in a park update, and they're looking. I think the Seas with Nemo and Friends is targeted at September with a possible late August soft opening, but I don't know if that's confirmed yet. Finding Nemo the Musical, I think, is more in the November time frame.
Mike Scopa, you have some interesting tidbits about the puppets that are being used in this.
Yeah, Matt. What I had found out was that the person who designed the puppets for the Broadway version of The Lion King is the same person who is designing the puppets for the Nemo musical. And from what I understand, the entertainment form that we'll be seeing will sometimes show the puppeteers actually maneuvering the puppets, and sometimes we will not see the puppeteers maneuvering the puppets. But from what I understand, they will be very, very detailed, intricately designed puppets that we're going to see. And from what I also heard, there are 10 to 12 songs that are being written for this musical.
That's gonna be a long show. I mean, if each song is a minute long.
Plus, there's got to be some regular
Yeah,
talking.
plus there's other stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Probably a 20-minute show, 25-minute show.
You think?
It's the official 18 minutes, right? 18 minutes is the attention span.
Oh yeah. Well, how long
Oh
was?
yeah, it's not even that long. It's like 12. Yeah.
Well, how long was Tarzan? Was Tarzan half an hour, maybe? Hunchback of Notre Dame, half an hour?
Yeah, the Mermaid, I think, Voyage of the Little Mermaid in the studios is about 25 minutes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Well, of course, the other thing up is the Laugh Floor Comedy Club at the Magic Kingdom, which is replacing the Timekeeper. And that's opening in early 2007. Mark, why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about the Laugh Floor?
Well, they have taken the Timekeeper Theater. They have ripped out the Circle Vision screens, unfortunately. The lean rails are gone. And they've installed a 400-seat theater. And this is the newest entry in the Living Creatures, Living Characters initiative that includes Turtle Talk with Crush and Lucky and the interactive Stitch thing at Interventions in California. Basically, more interactive characters. Basically, Mike is going to be the monster of ceremonies, and they're trying to find new ways of generating more laughs to power Monstropolis, and I believe they're going to be taking 2 volunteer comedian wannabes to compete to try to get the most laughs from the 400-seat audience. That's more or less all I've got on that right now.
I got a question. Is there any reason to call it Tomorrowland anymore?
I don't think so. Space Mountain can't.
Yeah, what's sort of tomorrow-y about it other than
Besides Space Mountain? I mean, you have Stitch across the street, and now this. There's nothing more futuristic about it.
It's
Carousel of Progress.
No, it's just Mickey's Two-Town Fair South, basically.
Yeah, I mean, they'll close Carousel sooner or later. That's a given. Why even
it's
bother?
Techland.
Yeah.
Now, one other thing is that next summer there's going to be another new attraction. I think it's next summer that was not announced there. First of all, anybody that's a fan of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Play It needs to get down if they want to play it again. August 19th it's closing, and it's going to make way for Midway Madness, which is think of it as Buzz Lightyear, Space Ranger spin, but with more plot and character interactivity. It's supposed to be Toy Story themed. It's also going in at Disney's California Adventure at Paradise Pier, which is where it got the Midway Madness name. Since they're doing a copy at Walt Disney World, they kept the name, though of course it's going to open first at Walt Disney World before it opens up in California. I believe it's targeted for opening next summer. The drive system and construction of a new maintenance bay for this attraction have already been approved by Reedy Creek, and it is moving forward. So that's another attraction that's coming that they did not announce with Year of a Million Dreams.
Great. Well, of course, Mark, thank you for being on the show. And, of course, Mark's column can be found online at mouseplanet.com. We'll have a link in the show notes.
It's my pleasure to be here.
And that's it for us today. This has been episode number 115 of Walt Disney World Today. If you want to find older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments, visit the Walt Disney World Today website at www.wdwtoday.com. You can also email us at questions@wdwtoday.com. For Len Testa, Mike Scopa, Mike Newell, and Mark Goldhaber, I'm Matt Hutchberg. We'll see you on the next show.